Hello everyone, my name is M.Karthik and I have authored the book called The Invisible Hand of God. In that book I have given an overview of what could be the possible future going forward, and this presentation, the promises of forthcoming golden era 2012, looks at all these promises in much greater detail. This book is available at all leading bookstores across the world and is also available in many online bookstores. You can buy a copy of this book. This presentation, The Promises of Forthcoming Golden Era, forms the first portion of the book where the view is given on future. So let's go ahead and see what are the promises of forthcoming golden era. This slide looks at some glimpses and thoughts. If we see from the book of prophecies of Knight John of Jerusalem, 11th century, comes the following. The millennium that comes after this millennium will change into a lifetime. People will love and share a dream, and all dreams will come true. Further it adds, people will be one big body in which every person is a tiny part. Together they will be at heart, they will speak one language. Men would have reached heaven. Men will know the spring of spirit of all things. People will receive a second birth and the spirit will come into them. Basically, it promises a very nice and a very light period for humans starting from 2012. The Vedic or ancient Hindu culture sees the ages or the time cycles into four ages: the Iron Age, which is the present age, the Bronze Age, the Silver Age, and the Golden Age. So once we cross the Iron Age, again a Golden Age will happen. It must be remembered that a golden age happened in India very long years back when gods like Ganesha or Shiva or Shakti or Saraswati were there on earth, and again another golden age is starting from 2012. Satyuga is most significant age of any time cycle, and once this golden age starts, there will be complete peace, there will be complete meditation, there will be complete communion with Spirit of God. The Greek poet Hesiod writes that mankind will live in absolute peace, carefree like gods, because they never age and death was like a falling sleep. The main characteristic of this age, according to Hesiod, is that earth will produce food in abundance, agriculture will be rendered superfluous. So a lot of people have predicted a lot of things about the golden age, and let us see how it shapes up. This work looks at the possible promises of the forthcoming golden age. It is difficult to foresee what will happen in the golden age, but something tells me, it is just my imagination, that this age will be much far ahead and better than what all of us imagine. Humans will exploit the full power of mind and will be able to do anything. Mark my words, anything. There will be no limitation and scientific boundaries will disappear. Humans will get fully gelled with nature. In this work, each of the possibilities, or rather some of the wonderful possibilities, are explained along with a historical perspective. When I show the next slide, I will tell you how I have prepared these slides, and something tells me that this golden age will be far ahead or far better than what happened in India billions of years ago. Because we will be able to exploit both the power of modern science and the power of mind. So how did I prepare this work is that I went through a lot of prophecies, I went through a lot of Nostradamus predictions, I went through a lot of books on possibilities of golden age, and whatever I could also add, I have added, and then I have prepared this presentation. When will this golden age start, you might ask? Many people say it is at 2050, some say it is 2100, but many calendars like Hindu calendar and the Mayan calendar predict it to start by 2012, which is only a few months away. Believe me, life will never be the same again and earth will be a paradise. I would advise you to stretch your imagination and think of all possibilities, and I bet things would happen that would beat your imagination. Let us welcome the new age of Aquarius. Let us welcome heaven on earth. After a long period of darkness, after a long period of Iron Age where animals were not happy, humans were not happy, and matter was not happy, finally we have arrived at a golden age. It has taken more than thousands of years of Iron Age have gone by, and then finally we are again coming to Golden Age. So let us welcome this new age of Aquarius with wholeheartedly, and let us see what is going to happen in the Golden Age. This is the first slide where I have shown that if you see the organization of this slide or all the slides going forth, you will see a guru or a learned man making a prediction. You will see a devil or a questioner questioning the prediction. You will see some goddess or god explaining what happened in the erstwhile golden era. You will see what will happen in future in this corner, and then you will see a skeptic who will say whether all this thing, he will take a skeptical view of the whole thing. So the first prediction is that death will be conquered by a few, at least by a few. The Guru says that death will be conquered at least by a few who would have attained zero mind or enlightenment. One has to realize that death is when the life creating energy leaves the body. However, after self realization, there will be no individual soul, and the universal soul will take place instead of the individual soul, and the body cannot be destroyed. The body will be like an open system and it will always be alive. So when all the chakras of the human body is opened, and when the kundalini rises and pierces the crown chakra and finally gets released, the life creating force continuously flows through the body. So once the life creating force continuously flows throughout the body, there will be no longer any individual soul which needs to escape out after death. So even if the head is cut off or hand is cut off, the life creating force will continuously flow in and will keep the body alive. The devil says that the man is bluffing. How can death be conquered? Body will age and it will die naturally. This has been happening since ages and will happen again. Do not believe this guy. He is trying to just excite and stun you. Individual soul, universal soul, he will drive you nuts. I put Goddess Lakshmi and said that Goddess Lakshmi says, in the erstwhile golden era, many Hindu gods conquered death, like elephant-headed god Ganesha, Shiva, Lakshmi, and so on. It was common to have an animal head and cut off the head and replace with another animal head. Death was fully understood and conquered. Death was like falling asleep, and anyone could be revived from death. What will happen in future is, this will take some time. We are just entering Satyuga in 2012, so maybe in another 100 years or 200 years, many would attain self-realization and would conquer death. There will be many again with animal head who would chop off their head at villain mercy or villain fancy and replace with another animal head or any other head. It will be possible to revive the dead and breathe back the soul again into body. Death will be fully understood. The skeptic says, so death will be conquered, is it? Sounds impossible. This slide says that though death will be conquered by a few, for others life will be long, in fact very long and happy. So for a normal man, life will be 100 years, but for those who have attained some level of self-realization, let us say level 5 of self-realization or level 4 of self-realization. Remember, there are 7 levels of self-realization, and the 7th level is what is called as Nirvikalpa Samadhi, where the body is continuously in connection with the universal consciousness. So for other levels of self-realization, life will be close to million years. Now for the current Kali Yuga, life is only 100 years, but in the forthcoming Satyuga, for those who have attain at least level 1 or level 2 or level 3 of self-realization, life will be phenomenally long and happy. Humans will have sufficient time to explore the self. What will the devil say? This devil looks really bad. He looks like a mad scientist, and he says that this guy is bluffing. How can one live for millions of years? What will happen to the world's population if one lives for millions of years? How can a few be immortal? These things appear from a cheap science fiction movie and is all cheap imagination. Immortal, forever young, all this is all total nonsense. What happened then? I have put God Ganesha here. God Ganesha says, In our times, life was indeed long. We lived for billions of years, and many of us were beyond death. Life was full of fun and frolic. Even in later ages like the Bronze Age and the Silver Age, life was reasonably long. For example, King Rama ruled Ayodhya for 10,000 years. Once death is understood and the chakras are open and the kundalini is up, and once one reaches the seventh level of self-realization, one can live forever and become complete Shiva. What will happen in future? Life will indeed be long. I am not sure about the population control, but again, average lifespan would stretch for millions of years. Probably human race will settle across the galaxy and thereby controlling the population. One would understand and appreciate death and few would conquer it. Once death is understood, people will not fret and worry about dying. Everyone will make to attempt to conquer death, and after the world sees a few people actually doing it. After the world sees a few people actually doing it, many would attempt and will be able to conquer death. What does skeptic say? So life will be long and fun filled. Sounds good. This slide talks about diseases and says that diseases will be conquered and there will be a period of no diseases. The Guru says that most of the current life-threatening diseases will be conquered and generally people will enjoy good health. Once the spiritual core of humans is understood, body will develop resistance to almost all diseases. Once the kundalini is aroused, it will protect from all diseases. So essentially humans will have a very healthy and a fun-filled life. So essentially once the spiritualism takes over and people start making efforts towards raising the kundalini power, many of the diseases will be simply conquered. One can be forever young. The hair will not go white. The body will remain young and supple. The devil says that this man is impossible. Do you think I will lie idle? I will create new diseases. I will create new viruses and nobody can be, and everybody will be wiped out. I cannot allow humans to rest in peace. Do not believe this guy. He is a charlatan trying to excite and confuse everyone. I put God Vishnu and said that what happened then? We were reasonably free from diseases. The body was strong because it was always connected to the core of creation. Even if some part of the body got spoiled by disease, it could be easily rectified by allowing universal consciousness to repair it. Nobody knew of any life-threatening diseases. People generally died when they wanted to die. What will happen in future? Many of the current life-threatening diseases will cease to exist. The soul rather than the body will be treated, and by increasing the level of energy in the soul, anything can be cured. There will be no life-threatening disease or any epidemic. The power of Kundalini will be used to develop strong resistance. The skeptic says, so no death for few, no diseases for many, sounds will happen.